Page 17, Feelin Good. 4/4 time, no sharps or flats in the key signature, but we have accidentals all over. One hand at a time. Let's see if we can get the notes and the rhythms right. At the beginning, right hand, you're here, and you're sort of in this position, where there's two notes in here, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then just come up, same fingering, but an E flat. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that note is on the and of 4. Second line, and it's here. 1 and 2, 3. If this isn't working for you, you can use 1, 2, and 4 there. The problem is when you get over to the fourth measure, you're out of position. So if you can, go ahead and do this. And if you're going to do this to begin with, when you get to the fourth measure, you might want to change to put fifth finger on that E flat, because in that fourth measure, the second line, you got to come down here. You need to be in this position. And then I'll come back to the little grace note. Leave it out right now, and it's here. Third line, come down. That's an E flat and an A. 1, 2, and it's thumb 3. Now, because this is a staccato note, you have time to move your hand if you want to use fourth finger. But if you're playing it legato, you do that. See, a lot of times, there are different fingers that we can use, and I like to try and play everything legato to get the fingering worked out, but sometimes because of the articulation, the staccato note, I get away with other fingerings, and this is one of those cases. You can get away with this, lift up and move, fourth, so you're in position. Or I can play legato and thumb and cross over third. Or fourth finger. So I don't use the thumb again. So I have to use the thumb again there if I do third finger. But if I use fourth finger, I can do that. Different fingerings. It's a personal thing. You pick one and stick with it. And then going on, you got to come down here. When you have a rest, you can move down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1. Then come up. Now, fourth line, first measure. Look at the rhythm. Leave out the grace note. Just play the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Comes on the and of 4. You're delaying it just a little bit. And then you come up. Reach up if you want, or just move up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right there. It's weird. Fourth line down, third measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first beat is a rest. The second beat, you're in between notes. The third beat is that C. And the fourth beat is the rest again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. And same rhythm in the last measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Last line, second measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we get the same thing we had in the third line. However you finger it in the third line, first measure, finger it the same way here. Left hand, down here at the bottom's got the bass. Way down here on the C. Last measure of the first line, you're up here. 1 and 2. 1, 2. It's an A, a D, and an E flat. This is awkward for me, so I would probably go here. Just so I don't have to put the thumb here and put my hand up here. It's up to you on how you finger this. But those are the notes. And then, yes, it's supposed to sound that way. You're just going to love it. I know it. And then back down here. 1, 2. It's an E natural, a B flat, and a C. That's a little better. Now, the end of the second line. A half note. You can do a 3-1, 4-1, whichever. You have to experiment because keep in mind the chord coming up. The first chord in the third line is this, an E flat and an A. I'm going from here to here. So I want to finger the half note to let me do that. If I do a 3-1, then I almost have to use thumb again. Don't want to do that. So if I go here, then I can do the 5-2. So you might need to finger the half note with 4-1. Again, it's your choice. Figure it out, decide what you like, pencil it in if you need to be reminded, and try it. You're going to get the same thing in the last line again. Then going on, 1 and 2. This is the third line down, second measure. 1 and 2. Now watch out. See, I ran out of fingers in this position because I got that F. So I've got to go here. It's got to be 5-4 on the first 2. 1 and 2. Then I can come down to here. Now I suggest on this is the last 2 measures, third line, you do 5-4 again. This is typical fingering. Each time you get this kind of pattern, it's 5-4. Now here, the fourth line down, first measure, I suggest a 5-4-3. See, I get all of that with one hand position. I'm not trying to hold all the notes down at the same time. I'm kind of moving the hand upward as I go through it. 1, 2. This is the fourth line down, third measure. We're back to our A, D, E flat. However you finger it. I've had this monster before, and the rest of that you've had before. Let's go down to the last line. Last 2 measures. You're down here. 1 and 2. No, by the way, that should be fourth finger on the E. That way you have enough fingers for these other notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then try putting the hands together. Remember, it's 5-4 here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Connect the left hand. There, the last 2 measures, the rhythm, what's going on? Real slow and careful. Last 2 measures, first line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, both hands come up on 4. It's a rest. So you get a half a beat of silence. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. See, my tendency is I want to play the left hand on the beat. And it isn't. The left hand comes on the end of 1. So it's and 1 and. Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Second line. And beat 4 in the second measure is silent, so we can recover from that and then go on. Rest. Then the last measure, second line. So lift up in the right hand there. Third line down, first 2 measures. Rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. You just have to count it out real slow. Now, at first you're counting real slow and trying to work it out, and then you gradually speed it up, and pretty soon you're feeling it. And hopefully you're feeling it correctly in the same rhythm you were having, because a lot of times when you start speeding up and feeling it, we change little things and we don't even know we changed them. So check yourself as you're speeding this up to make sure you're still using the same rhythm. The third line, 1. Last 2 measures, 1. See here, the left hand is just steady quarter notes. You don't have to wait. So to start that fourth line again, it's here. They changed the rhythm on you a little bit. Watch out. On the last line, second measure. At the end. Here. So work out the rhythm real carefully. Then you can add in these articulations. Staccato and the accent, the beginning accent, and the staccato. Now the first A is accent is staccato, the second A is not. Although when you start interpreting it, you're probably going to play them both staccato. But they're... And only the first note is accented. These others at the beginning of the measure are not accented. So then the staccato. This little note, real quick. The little note, I think most everybody in this type of music would play it before the beat. I tend to play it on the beat out of habit, because I play them all. But whichever way, just play it real quick. 1 and 2 and 3. Right there. The sempre staccato, third line, third measure, you're under the staff. Sempre means always or keep doing, and staccato means like you've been doing it, staccato. They're telling you to keep playing it staccato. And it's more with the wrist because you don't want to get too heavy. If you start doing it from the arm, you might get heavy. So really it's more from the wrist. We want to hear the right hand. Fourth line down, third measure over. Staccato at the end. I prefer to hang on to it, but they want staccato, okay. And once you've got a grasp on that, the dynamics, you got to feel the dynamics. It's a fairly loud piece. You're feeling good, huh? But it's for the melody, wherever the melody is. You keep the accompaniment under it. So this loud is for the right hand here. And then again, that's what we want to hear. Come down a little bit to moderately soft. Back up to loud, but don't get loud till the fourth measure. Lead into getting louder. I suggest you stay moderately loud till right before the fourth measure. Fourth, then you're loud again, and you're staying loud until the last line, third measure, you come down a little bit. And here you come up to here, crescendo up. And there's an accent on that, actually. Lean on that G. I still don't like the staccato at the end. I like to hang on to that note. I'd even put a little pedal on that note, just to color. Just give it some overtones at the end of it. To me, it's out of context to do a staccato. That's what they're written. Speed-wise, well, it's kind of fast. You get an idea about as fast as I... But then we got to do this more of a blues style. Blues, swing, and jazz. And they even tell you to swing the eighths, and that's the style. Just all the eighth notes. The counting is not 1 and 2 and 3 and. It's 1 and 2 and 3. You feel this. There's no notation for it. You have to feel it. So that's... I still don't like the staccato at the end. Whatever. It's a good piece to play for people that want to hear you play something. I like to play it very, very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. I'll give it 4 counts. Let's just play it real slow together. I am going to swing the 8th notes though, because that's the style of the piece. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1, 4 and 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2. And 4, 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and